Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of When I Grow Up Wednesday. Have you ever dreamed of being a full-time farmer? Well, today Daniel Gregory joins us to tell us a little bit about what being a farmer is like.
My name is Daniel Gregory. We operate a farm in Riddleton, Tennessee, and we have a cow-calf operation, and along with growing soybeans and corn. An archaeologist. I liked Indiana Jones. Well, when I went to school, I started off, I wanted to be a doctor. I went into the pre-med program at TTU, and from there decided that really wasn't the route for me, so I went into the nursing program. I was accepted into nursing school, and after a class of that for 2 weeks, I realized that's not what I wanted to do. And so I backed up and I went into ag business with the hopes of actually going to work for a company like Farm Bureau. And actually did that. I got out of school and I went to work for Farm Bureau for 3 years selling insurance. And it wasn't really where I wanted to be, and come home, and we had always farmed. I grew up farming, and everybody, my grandfather and my father farmed full time, and so I came back and just kind of got into it. I would say that an education is never a bad thing. I would recommend it to anybody, regardless of what you want to do. 4 years of your life, what's it matter? Go in and you'll learn things. You're going to be exposed to things, and you're not going to learn everything. If you want to be a farmer, you're not going to learn everything you need to know at a school. You get, like you do with anything else, you may get a base for some things, but it would be most of what we do farming, I've learned, even though I grew up with it, I've learned a lot more once I came back and I got into it full time. So it's a lot different from being a kid and just being told to go perform a certain job, drive a tractor all day. And when you're actually doing it yourself, you have to know what you're doing, or you have to have some sort of background, I guess, knowledge on the decisions that you make, and a lot of that sometimes is trial by fire. So definitely just making decisions, management decisions, and I don't know if I do a good job at it, but just trying to take the information that you have, and because each thing you do can affect your income, so or it can affect what your output is, and therefore affecting your income. Favorite part is probably being able to, those days where you can go out and actually just be on a tractor or something, where you can be at it continuously, and actually get to do it and work, I guess, a little less stress that way. For me anyways, when you're actually getting to do something and everything's working like it's supposed to. And I would say that at the end of the year, when you actually get your money in, would be the rewarding part, but it's really not. I guess the rewarding part is knowing when you've actually completed something. If I'm something, say we're cutting hay, whenever we actually get finished with a cutting, it's kind of rewarding to know that it's done. Or if you're shelling corn or beans or whatever, if once you've actually finished the job, that would probably be the most rewarding part of it. It varies. I guess it always depends on what we've got going on. In the spring, it could be planting or trying to get fields ready to plant, and so I guess there's never really a set day. I technically don't have anybody working for me, so I have some people. There are some others that work on the farm that work either for my grandmother or my father, and we all help each other out. And so, but I don't have a. I guess most days just aren't really. There's not a set day. I mean, different times of year there's a routine. If I'm into planning, depending what I've gotten done, I'm preparing or actually planning. And then, or when it comes to hay, making sure that someone else has already started with their job, and then doing what I can. And but I guess it's always different. Everybody's got a different opinion what farming is according to what type of farming operation you do. I know that we used to raise tobacco, and when we were raising tobacco, we were outside 90% of the time, not in a cab tractor, and outside doing something constantly. Seems like, by hand or foot or whatever. But and you would look at, say, someone who maybe had a corn and bean operation, you would think, well, all they're doing is riding in a tractor, but that's not the case. And I would assume that most kids probably look at it as, whenever they think of farming, and probably more so in this area, cattle. For that lot more kids can relate to the cattle operation, but they may look at it and think, well, that's riding a tractor. And it's as a college professor of mine once said, it's not just riding in a tractor. If it is your goal, and like I said, it's always great to have an education. You don't know what's going to happen. If the farming thing doesn't work out, because if the farming thing doesn't work out, it's great to have that, and you may get into something else and find a completely different path. But farming, actually being able to farm, is a blessing that most people will never get to have. I myself would not be able to do anything if it was not for my family. My father and grandfather before me, and then even my wife's family has helped me out quite a bit there in farming, very heavily. And for me, I know that I couldn't do it if I didn't have them behind me. But now there are some out there that have been able to do it without that. And I'd say the biggest thing is it's like anything else. If you're determined to do it, you can make it. It's just not going to be. It's like any other business, though. It's not going to be easy.
Thanks so much to Gregory Farms for allowing us to come out and learn what it's like to be a full-time farmer. We hope you're enjoying learning about these different careers, and that you'll tune in next time for another episode of When I Grow Up Wednesday.